I'm Chris, I play guitar.
My name's James, I play the keyboards and do vocals.
My name's Nathan, I play the bass.
And you're all from Rolo Tomassi. How many dates have you got in this tour?
We play 11 shows in the UK, and then we go to Europe, and we're there from the 1st to the 17th with 3 days off, so what's that, 14 shows?
Yeah.
I guess so.
So yeah, we're on tour basically for a month.
Okay.
We don't have any days off between now, like the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then we've got a couple of days spare in Europe, one's for travelling, and then we're going to do some sightseeing, drink in some culture, see some history.
Which is your first European venue?
We play
Amsterdam.
Amsterdam, a place called Winston,
Off to a bang.
Yeah.
which would be good.
Yeah. That's the last day before a day off, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've got a day off after that. So.
Amsterdam and a day off.
Yeah. That's all
Wow.
right.
That's good tour planning then.
How are you guys feeling?
I'm really, really tired at the moment. Me and Chris worked last night and we didn't get out until like 7 o'clock this morning, so I'm very, very, very excited to be here, but kind of feel a bit dopey.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't, my body's here, but my mind is
In bed.
in bed, yeah. But I'm incredibly excited to be on tour, you know, like we've been gearing up to this for the last few months. We're gearing up to the release of the record for the last, year almost.
Yeah, and this is the first headline tour we've done since me and Nathan joined the band, so it's kind of new for us. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's pretty exciting.
Yeah. Yeah. No, we're happy with this. Like, because it's about a year-ish, just
Since
less.
we started writing,
Yeah. Then we
since you
started,
joined.
and we got together. So, yeah, we've written the album, got it released and stuff all this year. So, yeah, the most of it's just been building up, getting the album done, written, recorded, and then released. And now it's kind of time to enjoy playing shows and playing the music live, which is
What we do it for.
yeah.
It is, and as well, I guess. So the most part of this year we've been recording and writing the record, and we've been playing some shows in the meantime, and it's been like us playing the older material, and now it's like this great opportunity for us to actually play the material we've written with the new lineup, and you know, as a five, so it's exciting for us to kind of to move forward and show everyone what we've done, and yeah, just finally play these songs live. You know, we're playing I think 5 or 6 new songs tonight that have never been played live. Well, sorry, 6 new songs, 4 of which we've never played live before, so it's going to be great to finally show people what we've been working on for, like Nathan said, we've been working on it for a year, so.
When you were working on this album and when you were writing it, what was the barest emotional point of the writing?
Well, we were initially going to record in Barnsley in a studio, but then that fell through, didn't it? And
Yeah.
we were just like, you know, scratching our heads to actually find a place to record it. So that, I mean, that bit was pretty stressful. But I don't know, most of it was pretty enjoyable because we ended up doing it in the house that we live in. It was just like, kind of felt really easy and was kind of really fun to do.
Yeah.
And we all did it in bits and pieces because I was living in Brighton at that point, as was Nathan. So it was all kind of like coming up in short bursts and doing a week of playing guitar and then going back, and then the next time you'd hear it, like you'd hear, you know, massive improvements, and like you'd start to hear it shaping a lot better and stuff. And it was just really fun to do. And it's like first full album that I've ever recorded, because every band I've been in is split up after about one demo. So it's kind of nice to have a whole artistic piece that you've worked hard, you know, towards. So I just enjoyed the whole thing.
I think for me, like the week leading up to it, because we'd set the date to start, and we had 2 practices left, and we needed to finish 2 songs, and there was like this period where like I was really starting to lose sleep over it, like seriously freaking out. And we had this one song left to finish, and like we had these 2 ideas and this one thing that we'd never played together, and I was like, well, I've written this. I think we could develop it into something, so I kind of played it to everyone, and then we had this other half a song. It was kind of like, it had direction, but it wasn't enough to play on its own. And I remember there's this one, we were going into the final practice, and I went to bed. Literally, I was like kind of tossing and turning for about half an hour, and then sat bolt upright. I was like, oh, I know what to do. And like, I'd like got out of bed in my pants, like grabbed a piece of paper, writ all this stuff down, like plugged my keyboard and put my headphones in and like played. I was like, it works, it all works, it's gonna be fine.
Wake up in the morning like Christmas. Chris, I've
finished it, I've done it.
Come upstairs, something magical to happen.
And it was amazing because we got to where we were practicing. I think we played it through once. And it was like, yeah, that's exactly like what it needed to do. And it was like, I've never done that before. Like everything has always been like a carefully developed idea. where you'll know if something does or doesn't work, and you'll kind of play things through until you get a feel for it. But it's literally this kind of like these cogs in my head are just run out of oil or something, and they finally just turned in the right way, and just sat like and finished the song just like that. It was unbelievable, and it's my favourite song on the record. Like the way it came together like that.
So which song is that?
It's the final track on the album, Milli Minnow.
Yeah.
But even kind of Empire-esque was a bit like that. There was a bit where we were just sitting around in your room with like the keyboards, like guitars like unplugged, like sitting around in like shorts, like with
shorts
tea,
and vests,
cross-legged on the floor, just like, what about this guy?
Because we recorded demos of everything we'd done, and like that song in particular, Empire-esque, like the idea it started out as is so far removed from how the song finished.
Yeah, it's a totally different.
Because we thought the song was based around this one idea, and we probably took like the smallest idea out of the original demo and turned that into the song, and it was amazing because I'd never personally like done demoing or anything before. We'd always just been when we'd write, we'd be like, oh well, that's finished, like let's move on to the next thing. But like obviously with Nathan and Chris living in Brighton and the way we were rehearsing, we needed to demo everything just so no one forgot what we'd been doing, because we weren't practicing that frequently. So we were like constantly listening to stuff and going back and being like, well, everyone would hear it in a different way when they kind of went away from the practice, especially with the amount of time we spent apart. And that especially was something that we just came back to it with like totally fresh ears and like absolutely reinvented the idea. Like it couldn't be more different from how it started out. I think the thing with the merch especially is like it's always something we've prided ourselves on having good merch, because I'm like a firm believer that like anything that bears your band name is like indicative of like your work ethic and everything that you do. So we've always kind of really made an effort to make sure that everything that has our name on it definitely like represents the kind of aesthetic we want to carry off. Like there was a few merch designs we had sent through, and it didn't really work with how we were putting stuff together. And like I'm really happy with the way that all those ideas came out. And like the NASA t-shirt, that was like an idea that Eva had. That's kind of like, it's kind of funny, but it also looks really, really cool.
They're lovely.
And yeah.
So what's the thing that you would like people to, the one thing, think of about Rolo Tomassi?
What's our mantra, mate?
Yeah.
You were going on about that the other day.
I
About
wasn't.
our mantra.
You
You came up with that really poetic one line. What?
I'm not.
It's kind of hard to kind of.
It's difficult to sum it up. Like, it's not like we sit down and write music and be like, I want X person to take this away from it, because it's just impossible. And I think if you were to do that, it just becomes quite stagnant and irrelevant. As soon as you think that someone has to take a certain thing from what you're doing, I don't know, to me it kind of just makes it a bit redundant, because you're expecting there to be a specific kind of person that's going to take this one thing from it that maybe someone else isn't going to get from it. So I think, I don't know, I write music because I enjoy doing it and I like listening to music, and I think for me it's always been about just enjoying being creative and writing songs, and like having that as a way of just escapism, I think. Like, and certainly with the sound that we've got, I guess it's all like quite big and I don't know, fantastical to a point that it's kind of very, very detached from everything else. And I think in that sense, it just is this like perfect form of escapism from everything else for me. Like, that's so I've just wanted to have fun and travel with my friends and play this music that we get together and make for fun, not because we want people to get something from it. I mean, if people do get something from it and they can say, I listened to this song and I read those lyrics and I felt like this, then that's amazing. I think especially with, maybe more so with the lyrics than the music, you'd be like, I wrote this because I was feeling this, and I would hope that someone that was in my position that knows what this song about can be like, that describes how I felt perfectly, and what was in it made me think about this in a different way, or something like that. Especially when when it's a set of lyrics that deals with something specifically and we can kind of identify that. But I don't know, in terms of like thinking of the band as a whole thing, I can't really, like I said, to go back to the answer after that, but verbal diarrhea, I can't think of one thing I would want to say, like, oh, come to our gig, you're going to feel like this at the end of it.
I am Eva.
Do we need to budget more?
Yeah, just a little bit
Yes.
too much.
No,
Eva, because what we were talking about was about sort of like the content of the music, and we were talking about the escapism elements of it. I hear an enormous amount of courtesy amongst the band. They must have creative space as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
We all work together so well. Like we all get on. We're really good friends. So it's everyone kind of knows, kind of give each other that room. Yeah.
But yeah, musically throughout the whole album, like there's bits where every instrument kind of, like almost in every song, there's a bit where a certain instrument or vocal will take the lead. It's never like, you know, just vocals over the whole thing. There's bits where it's led by bass and stuff, or led by drums.
And there was
like,
bits when we were writing the music where we were like, all right, this bit would sound great if the vocals were at the front of it. So like we knew to kind of hold back on like the harshness and the heaviness of it. Like bits where we kind of like you're saying, left that space for the vocals to kind of have their part in it, because it's got to be. It's always been about like giving everyone their kind of opportunity to be at the foreground. And I think it kind of it makes the music so much more rounded, rather than it's like, oh yeah, Rolo Tomassi, they're a guitar band.
Yeah.
Or like, did you go and see that band? Yeah, it's all about the drummer kind of thing. It's like, I think if the music's going to be well rounded and something that you do want to listen to in its entirety, especially when speaking about an album, everything's kind of got to have its little bit of time at the front.
But if I can ask you while you're here, Eva, a bit more about what it's like being at the front of all these men.
leading us.
It's alright.
It's alright, I guess.
It's I never think of it like that, and I never have really thought of it like that. It always felt like we're just a group of people making music together. Like I've never felt that I was particularly leading it. I think we all take an equal share in what Rolo Tomassi is. It's fun fronting a band. I mean, I have a lot of fun doing it. I really enjoy it. So in that respect, yeah, it's fun.
What's your favourite bit about Rolo Tomassi?
I like playing. I like touring and playing live. That's my favourite thing, and that's what I enjoy the most out of it, and that's what I get out of it. Just being on tour and playing shows. I like, performing or. That's my favourite bit.
I'd say the same.
I'll try and come up with a different answer then, because you said that.
Let me ramble.
Go on, have you got something?
Just in case you need to think.
No, I've got it in my head.
Alright, okay.
I guess with Eva saying that, and especially within the last year, because I've been at I've written a lot more music for the band in the last year. I think my favourite thing has definitely been like writing the very, very base of what an idea is, and kind of imagining how it will sound as a full band, and then presenting like the idea to everyone, and it just coming together and sounding exactly like it did in my head. Like that, it's such an amazing feeling when you write something and like everyone just totally gets what you were going for with it, and it just sounds so spot on to how you wanted it to be. Like I've struggled for that to kind of happen in the past, and sometimes things didn't come out as well as they did, but it just seems especially since Chris and Nathan joined, that we just on such a similar page with it, that these ideas just came to life unbelievably.
Yeah, it was like bands I've been in the past. I've written like everything. When some people that I've worked with in the past have been like, why don't we do something like this? It's always kind of been like, I don't get where you're coming from with that idea. Whereas I'd maybe like bring an idea to band practice. We'd do it for a bit, and then James or anyone would suggest, doing something different. And instead of being like, can't really see where you're coming from, I'm kind of like, yeah, why didn't I think of that? That was a really good idea, and it ends up coming better than what I thought it would have been. And I've never been in a band where people have taken my ideas and added their thing, and I've liked it more. So yeah, when it does come to it, we just kind of know when songs are finished and know when the idea's complete. Like Empire-esque is the biggest one of that, because it went through so many different stages and so many different songs almost. And then when we sat down in the bedroom for about half an hour, did it, and then we all were just like, yeah, that's done. And we just all knew that it was completely done. We were all really happy with it, and I couldn't have written it better if I had an endless infinite amount of time, really. So yeah, it's nice about being able to successfully bounce ideas off other people and stuff who are the same hymn sheet.
Do you have a particular song or a particular note or a particular bar that sort of catches you every time? Do you know, like the opening bars of Dosed by the Red Hot Chili Peppers?
That would be yours.
Yeah, it is actually. Yes. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, from this.
From this record, when it kicks in the Luminara, that's the thing. That's
Yeah.
my favourite bit as well.
Done.
Yeah.
Like,
That's down to the production as well, I think, because there's this
Yeah,
amazing, like,
it
kind of
sounds
hanging
great.
feedback that comes in. And, like, I don't know, I've listened to stuff in the past and been like, there's, like, a sense of pride with it, but, like, when I heard that, like, it literally made the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. And, yeah, I've had that feeling several times when I've listened to it, and we've, like, been rehearsing that to kind of, with a view to maybe play it live on a few of these dates, and I just absolutely love that drop when it kind of kicks in, and, yeah.
yeah, it's my favourite thing that I think we've done. I love it. Like, it just doesn't really sound like something that we've done, because it sounds just, yeah.
Yeah, it's great because I mean, I think you were in band practice, weren't you? And you had that that main keyboard part underneath it, and I was just like, that's amazing. Like, send that to me. And he just did like a loop of that and just sent it to me. And I was in Brighton, and I just like added like a few drum parts to it and stuff, and a few ideas, and then like a lead guitar line. And my girlfriend was kind of there at the time, like listening. And it's kind of weird that she commented on it the other day, how that she's seen it from this idea where it's just one little synth line. I was just mucking about on my laptop doing something, and then when she heard the final thing, she was just like, "That's the thing you were doing that time, isn't it?" And she was like, "This sounds amazing." I was just like, "I know, like we're all so happy with it. It sounds absolutely enormous." So that was really cool to see.
I bet she's really proud of that.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm pretty proud of it as well.
Yeah.
That's cool.
First, your own music is making the hairs of your neck stand on end.
It's pretty weird. I mean,
That says something.
it can kind of sound a little bit self-congratulatory,
Not at all.
I think, but yeah, it was just nice because it was, yeah, like we were saying earlier, like it sounded exactly how I wanted it to sound, and it was a nice little moment hearing it back for the first time, definitely.
So just quickly, we're going to wrap up because one last thing, but again from each of you, if you don't mind, what you're most looking forward to on the tour.
Absolutely. Can we just start that end?
Going to Europe with friends and like people coming out, like people in other countries coming out to see music that you've written hunched over your laptop in your bedroom in your girlfriend, and then knowing it and being like, that's cool. That's what I'm looking forward to. Because I've never toured like properly in Europe before, so I'm really looking forward to that.
I'm looking forward to playing the new songs live that we've written together, and knowing that that's the future and that's the direction of this band, and I just can't wait to play it, and for it to be coming out of like good, decent sized sound systems rather than the cheap, awful places we practice in Nottingham.
Big up to Cyrex.
Big up Cyrex.
It's usually a summer snack bar.
Yeah, I'm quite happy with the length of it. I think. Like 30 days. I mean, because normally like you do a tour, it's a week, 2 weeks, or something like that. But yeah, it's a good solid 30
We've
days.
not done a proper tour.
Yeah, it's
with
like it's a good amount of
5 of
time.
us, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think there's anything I'm not looking forward to on it, to be honest with you. Spaggers, maybe.
Our, I don't even know what his title is. on this
Excellent
tour.
friend.
Mine will probably
Vibe
be.
manager.
We're playing our Halloween shows in London, and we're all dressing up, so I'm looking forward to that because we've not really done a proper fancy dress show before, and we've got costumes actually sorted for this one, so I'm looking forward to that.
And glitter cannons.
Have we?
I think so. Did we get the glitter cannons?
Maybe take this bit out.
Glitter cannon.
Glitter cannons.
Yeah.
Can we?
We're getting them, yeah.
Please.
Please, Uncle Duncan.
We'll talk about this. We'll talk about this.
Why are we being to get glitter cannons, which is something we've never really done before, because it'd be quite, I don't know.
Outrageous.
Yeah, that is exactly the word I was going for. It'd be very, very outrageous for us to do
For
that.
us as well.
Yeah, just something I
And
was.
the size of the venue.
And size of the venue, yeah. That we're even considering it is ludicrous, but I don't know. I like that kind of making it a spectacle as well as
Yeah, definitely.
it being about the music. It's got to be this all-encompassing thing, and I think glitter will really bring that together.